So far, throughout the 2018-19 NBA season, we have had many surprise teams. The Denver Nuggets have astonishingly jumped out to have the best record in the West, roughly 45 games in, and they're still top of the conference, not looking to give up that first seed anytime soon. The Indiana Pacers have been quietly one of the best teams in the East this year. Oladipo had missed many games earlier on in the season due to injury, yet they are in third place ahead of Philadelphia and Boston. The role players have been very valuable, and a huge part of their winning has come from Miles Turner making an improvement this year and becoming one of the top shot blockers in the league. He's leading the NBA in blocks per game this season. One huge surprise was the Sacramento Kings being in the playoff hunt for quite some time. Yes, now they have dropped down to the 10th seed, but they still are in playoff contention with a 23-21 record, 2 games over 500, which no one really saw coming from them this season. You have to credit their head coach, Dave Joerger, for getting these young guys to play well together, and also credit De'Aaron Fox for making a huge leap in his sophomore year. He definitely will be in the running for most improved player this season. Despite the 3 teams that I just named, there is one team that is the most underrated team in the NBA, and no one is talking about them. They have no true superstar on this team, but that is not stopping them from winning games this season. They have a group of role players and probably one guy who is a deserving All-Star this year for the first time in his 8 years of the NBA. Everyone knows their role in this team, and every night there's a different man stepping up. This team has very quietly been one of the best teams in the league, and they have been surging through the Western Conference all year long. And by now, you probably have guessed who I'm talking about. The most underrated team and underappreciated team this year has been no other than the Los Angeles Clippers. Early on in the season, the Clippers were the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They have currently dropped to a 6th seed, but the West is such a dogfight that they could easily be the 3 or 4 seed right now. There's much unselfish play on this team. The team has roles for every player and not one guy that's trying to do too much. You have a group of guys that just play hard together and they just want to win. Patrick Beverley is their defensive leader. He sparks the team's defense on a nightly basis. Every game, Pat shows up to play tough and guys follow that. Beverley is the reason why this team has that gritty play style and mentality this season. Lou Williams is still that 6th man who's going to light up your opposing bench every game. He's still dropping buckets and still being productive off the bench at age 32. He's averaging 18.6 points per game, 4.9 assists, and as always, as a top candidate for the 6th man award. Even if he's not leading the race every year, he's always an honorable mention. Montrezl Harrell has been one of the most underappreciated players this season. He's been averaging 16 points per game, 6.8 rebounds per game in only 25.5 minutes. He's coming off the bench as well and is a huge contributor to why the Clippers bench is so good this season. He's the energy guy that every team needs, sort of similar to Draymond Green, just less versatile, although he has been unbelievably productive on a consistent basis every game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has been one of the most quiet rookies this season. He's only averaging 9.6 points per game and 2.9 assists as a point guard, but you honestly have to watch this kid to see his impact. The numbers aren't eye-popping at all, but he has an impact showing that he can take over a game at times. Definitely a player the Clippers will try to keep for the long run. Danilo Gallinari is putting up a career-high 19.7 points per game this season. He definitely has been a high-quality starting piece for this year. Gallo is also averaging a career-high 6.1 rebounds while shooting 45.3% from three-point range. He's shooting 45.8% on his field goals and 91.3% from the free throw line. To put in context, he's top 5 in three-point percentage and top 5 in free throw percentage this season. And as you can see here, these are the leaders of the three-point percentage shooters this season. Steph Curry's 1, you have Joe Harris, Davis Bertans, Derrick Rose, and then Danilo Gallinari himself as 5th. For free throw percentage leaders, you have Malcolm Brogdon shooting an insane 97.7%, followed by Steph Curry, Malik Monk, Gallinari at 4, and then Kevin Durant at 5 to cap off the top 5. Gallinari is definitely having an efficient season, and he's been healthy for the first time in a long time, playing 42 of a possible 43 games. And now, most importantly, the leading scorer for the Clippers this year has been no one other than Tobias Harris. For the first time in his career, Harris is averaging 20 points per game. He's also grabbing 8 rebounds per game, which is the second highest rate of his career. Harris is shooting a career-high 50.4 field goal percentage and a career-high 44.3 three-point percentage. Tobias has played every game for the Clippers this year, being durable and very consistent. He's having an amazing season and probably his best ever. Tobias won Player of the Month in November. At the time, he was leading LA to the first seed of the Western Conference. Harris should more than likely become a first-time All-Star this year because of how impactful he has been for the Clippers. He's definitely one of those players who isn't mentioned enough. When we talk about the best guys in the league, maybe Harris isn't top 10 or top 15, but definitely a top 20 to 25 player this season, and his name definitely needs to come up more. This upcoming free agency, Tobias Harris is eligible to sign a pretty nice deal with the LA Clippers if he wants to stay. If I was Tobias, 8 years in the league, I would definitely wind up staying with the Clippers. He's finally found a steady home. He's finally balling out. He's been around on a couple teams for the past 8 years of his career. Milwaukee, Orlando, Detroit. He's never really had a steady home. But now I think he's finally comfortable in LA. He's dropping buckets, they're putting the ball in his hand, and he's showing everybody what he can do. I really have faith in this guy. And I think if LA re-signs him, it wouldn't be a mistake at all. Honestly, we do have to give a huge shout out to Doc Rivers. Over the past few years, he faced a lot of adversity. Not being able to get it done with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan, people didn't know if Doc was the right man. Doc lost his job as GM, Jerry West came in office, and a lot has changed. But Doc has done a great job leading these young guys with no superstar on the team. Doc Rivers has implemented a system, though, where everyone is sharing the ball, everybody's getting touches, everybody's playing. I mean, not one guy's dominating the ball. Tobias Harris is the leading scorer, but Gallinari is also nearly averaging 20 points. Lou Williams is averaging 18.5. So everybody's pretty much getting a share. Doc has got this team uplifted to a point where no one really thought they would be. I mean, many people had the Clippers in the lottery before the season started. No one thought they would make the playoffs, just like last season. But once again, the Clippers are back in the playoffs and easily could be a top 4 seed by the time the season is over if they keep this up. The Clippers could definitely go after a huge free agent this summer, even though if they sign Tobias Harris, they could still go after a player with the likes of Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, Klay Thompson, somebody like that. Somebody big that wants to come out and play in LA. I mean, to a point, it may kind of mess up the chemistry right now. The team is full of a bunch of guys who are just unselfish, who just want to go out there and hoop every night. A star coming in and trying to take over could mess up the chemistry a little bit. So, I mean, it could make them better or worse. You never know. The role players on this team are definitely the guys who make the Clippers so good. Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell are two guys who are averaging 16 plus off the bench. I don't think there's another duo in the league who's doing that coming off the bench. The Clippers are currently leading the league in bench points per game with 52.6. Second place is the Brooklyn Nets with 46 bench points per game. But with all I said, you have to remember all these guys on the team are just a bunch of role players. No one is a true superstar. They really don't even have an all-star. Tobias Harris is a maybe this year. In my eyes, I think he will be. But we'll have to see come February. With that being said, I definitely think the Clippers should go out and sign a big free agent this year. They have the money for it, and I mean, it's LA. Maybe it's not the Lakers, but still, it's Los Angeles. They need to go big this year. They have Steve Ballmer. Doc Rivers is ready to contend. They have Jerry West in office now. This is their time. They definitely need to go for it. If I'm the Clippers this summer, though, my 3 primary targets are Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, and or Klay Thompson. KD and Kawhi Leonard are top 5 players in the league, and they're definitely difference makers and franchise players that you definitely want on your team for years to come. For now, that's all I really got for this video. I mean, that's my underrated team of the season. That's the team that's going under the radar, nobody's paying attention to because they don't have a superstar player. Please drop your team in the comments. Tell me who you think is underrated, a team, a player, anybody, somebody that definitely needs recognition. But other than that, please leave a like, leave some comments, advice. I did add videos this time. I'm trying to make improvements as I go along. So keep telling me things that y'all want to see as viewers and let me know what's up. Just drop some stuff in the comments. Let me know anything else should change. But honestly, thank you all for watching and just leave some support, like comments, feedbacks, anything. Just let me know. Thank you all for watching. Stay tuned. I will be posting at least 1 video a week. Sometimes I will try to cram in 2 videos. Subscribe. I will be active. So I'm always going to be posting new videos, new NBA content, my thoughts of what's going on in NBA season.